Hello and welcome to the Cryptocurrency News channel. A lot of you have been asking me about AVAX. Those are good questions and why AVAX has been surging lately. Well, we know part of the reason now because AVAX just pinned a deal with Deloitte. Now, this has probably been in the works for quite a while. I remember seeing rumors about this, days ago. Maybe it's probably been known to more inside people for a couple of weeks now, but they just announced a partnership with a big four accounting firm. Deloitte is also a consultancy firm. If you've been following VeChain, they are partnered with VeChain as well. They are using VeChain for their certification process, but they're using AVAX for their disaster recovery program or disaster recovery unit. So two different use cases, two different departments. So we all know that Deloitte does auditing, consulting, and tax advisory services. It is a big four tax consultancy firm, and they do provide services to 90% of the Fortune 500. So they are a big deal. They're going to use Avalanche for a new disaster recovery program called Close As You Go, CAYG, and it's designed to simplify reimbursements for natural disaster victims. So like they do a lot of insurance stuff. So certification process, VeChain, disaster recovery program, AVAX. So Deloitte has a lot of partnerships in the blockchain area. And as a quote, they say using the Avalanche blockchain, CAYG's cloud-based platform provides state and local officials with decentralized, transparent, and cost-efficient system that empowers both grant makers and funding recipients while minimizing fraud. So obviously, AVAX skyrocketed because of this. It's come down a little bit from its top, but it should be continuing strong. The other reason is because AVAX's ecosystem continues to build up. And there's other things like Binquay that also surged by 60% early this week. Now, DeFi is actually going to be pretty big in the next leg of the bull run, maybe probably in the bear market as well. But the thing is, it really depends on how they amend the crypto infrastructure bill. Right now, as it stands, DeFi protocols would be liable for reporting all KYC. Unfortunately, they have no way to actually report any of that KYC. So essentially, they're kind of screwed at the moment. But the amendment that they are considering would actually delay reporting until 2026, which would be a big thing because they have 4 years to actually get their ducks in a row then in the United States. And it also says it protects protocols from actually having to report. That could actually be huge. I don't exactly know what protocols include, but they could include some or all DeFi protocols, which would actually get DeFi out of the doghouse. However, we know that most DeFi is not actually decentralized right now. Hopefully that changes in the future. And if that does actually change in the future, then we could actually have a big thing for DeFi in the next bear market. It's still if they just push it back to 2026, we really won't have to worry about it until the end of the next bull run or the next bear market after this one. So it could be very, very far off on the horizon. AVAX is a specialized DeFi platform, so it's doubly affected by things like this. For right now, what I think is they will definitely exclude validators, miners, and stakers, and they will also not include things like software developers and hardware developers. I think the protocol developers is going to be the biggest debate in Congress because there's definitely people that want to hammer down on the taxes and the KYC, and other people who want to let DeFi more spread out. Now, I do think big banks will actually build their own DeFi platforms, although I don't know if they'll be truly DeFi. But banks are definitely afraid of DeFi platforms, especially when it comes to stablecoins. And any kind of harsh regulatory stance towards stablecoins would also be bad for DeFi in general because DeFi basically uses stablecoins for a lot of its liquidity. So we have to keep that in mind as well. Because, DeFi platforms usually don't have off ramps. Such as USD, GBP, or other fiats to actually off ramp. That if you want something stable to keep your money in a DeFi system, it would have to be either USDT, USDC, UST, or something like that. And if they hammer it in on stable coins and have massive regulatory repercussions on stablecoins, then obviously DeFi will most likely be affected as well. Also, a lot of people actually do use those platforms to stake stablecoins at double-digit interest rates, which the banks really don't like because it does directly compete with them and does directly compete with their business. So That's what we have for right now. AVAX is pumping because of the Deloitte partnership, and it may continue to pump because of the growth of its ecosystem and more partnerships like this. So that's the news for today. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe and hit that bell notifications button. Thank you and have a nice day.